We are here at the 2018 Seattle Remodeling Expo, and I want to show our new display off. So over here, we're going to start with our storage containers. We've got nice dividers here to be able to hold the lids separately like this, keep them nice and organized. And the dividers can go this way, and they can also go in the other direction like this. And they're all adjustable, which is great, so you can size for different things like storage bottles or water bottles, storage containers, whatever you have. You can see here the walls on the box are a little bit taller to keep things from falling out. This is a pretty cool product we've got here, which is our drawer in a drawer. So you can see we've got silverware and some other items up top here, but this is a really deep space. What we do is just we just squeeze that, push it forward, and now it reveals the inside here, which you can see has things like cooking utensils and other items in there. That's pretty neat. Good way to make use of a really deep space when you have shorter items inside. Underneath here, a way for storing flatter items vertical, so you don't have to pile them up. In the corner cabinet, this is called the blind corner, and we have a series of glide outs that allow you to get to the very back. So one pulls out in the front, and the other one shifts over really easily so that you can get the items that were way deep in that cave. We'll just put that back. Same thing on the bottom half of this cabinet as well. One pulls out and the other one slides over. Over here we have an example of trash and compost, or recycling and compost. So we've got a second level here, which allows us to keep our compost container. We've got some storage underneath for bags, other little, maybe some cleaning supplies, and then we've got our trash or our recycle bin right there in the back. This one has the soft close rails, so it closes on its own. Under the sink, we can do a lot of different things. We try to take advantage of the height of the space with taking into account the plumbing that's in there. So you can see here, this one pulls out very nicely for the cleaning supplies below, but we also have storage up top for the sponges. And on the other side, these ones are independent. So this is an independent riser, because I can pull the bottom one out by itself. Then I can also pull this one out separately, which allows me to use the upper space, but not get in the way of the stuff on the bottom. We've got some interesting things going on here. This, first of all, shows off some of our designer line, which is a hardwood product instead of our classic line, which has 9-ply Baltic birch. So this one has a few different color options, and you can see here, again, all full extension, 100-pound rails. The top one is interesting. So this is our wine rack, which has slots in it so that you can orient your bottles horizontally like this and store them in a shorter space, and it's pretty cool. Over here we have our cabinet pantry example. Again, different heights of boxes to accommodate different items, different heights of items. You can see here we've got some paper bag storage, some taller items here, snack items. We have some dividers here to keep things nice and separate. We've got shorter spaces here for the shorter items, for say canned goods or snack items. This one is pretty cool. So a lot of folks don't like to look at the sides of the can, so like when here it's a little bit harder to see the sides and see what you have. But in this one up here, you can actually look down and see the labels, because everything is laid down. As the space gets a little bit higher, it becomes harder to reach over a wider glide out like this. Here below chin level, everything's a little easier to get to. So up here what we did is we split the glide out in half, so that now when I pull this out, I can actually get to it from the side. So for this one over here, it's a lot easier to get to the stuff in the back, in the middle area, the back middle, because it's only this deep now. And then the same thing is up here. We've got our cookbook collection, which is really easy to get to the stuff that's in the back here. We've got dividers in here as well that are adjustable, and again, they're you can move them wherever you want, but they're great because they act as little bookends so things don't just fall out randomly. And then of course we have our divider shelf here, which allows us to store our flat items vertically so they're not piled up. It's really good use of upper space. Down below here we have, this is our cooktop area, so we've got maybe some cooking oils and some condiments and other things here down below. Spices are a couple different ways to store spices. So one is in a shorter space like this, where we have our spice containers laid down, just like the cans, so that you can see the labels a lot easier. and you've got a shorter space. If you make them a little bit taller, you can stand some items up. If you want to utilize more space to make it a little bit more cost effective, fewer glide outs, but you can fit more in them, you can also do it this way. And this is a new product of ours. If you want to stand over here, we can see our spice tower. So this here is a really cool product. It comes out and it has the spices in a single row. And what this allows you to do is keep it so that you don't have to rummage around looking for spices. You just grab the one that you want with nothing behind it, and you've got multiple levels here. And then you have multiple banks of glide outs. So it's really easy to get to and really effective use of the space. And the dividers on here, again, they're adjustable so you can have different heights of items as well. Over here we have our cooktop area, and you can see a lot of cabinets that we see have these stiles down the middle. So this is like a post that runs down the middle of cabinets. Typically it's annoying because you pull this open and you have to work around that stile. And if these spaces are really small especially, it can be really awkward and inconvenient. So what we can do in most cases is actually cut that out, and we attach it to one of the doors like this. And now you've got one big wide space instead of two separate narrow spaces. And now we've got these large glide outs that come out all the way, and you can get to everything in the back. You can see here one thing that's really interesting is that we have 3 levels, which is great. That way we can store more items without piling them on top of each other. In this cabinet, you can also see there's this notch in the back of the box. A lot of the cabinets we see, maybe there's a gas line or an electrical line that runs in the corner, and we don't want to waste that space. So we can do these little custom notches, and makes it so we can use more of the space and account for any of that weird obstruction in the back. Again, same thing there. And then lastly, I want to show you this glide around. So as you can see, this is a corner cabinet. Most of the time in homes we see either just a shelf in there or there's maybe a Lazy Susan. This is a really interesting product because it's a combination of glide out shelving plus a Lazy Susan. So if you can see in the front here, when you access it, normally there would be cabinets on either side, so you wouldn't be able to see through the sides here. But what we do is we have a glide out, series of glide outs that come out like this, so we can get to all the items in these drawers. So I can grab this, I can grab what I want from here, and then I can access the sides by simply spinning this guy around like so. And now I can use the sides, the extra storage space here, in addition to getting to the things that are in the middle section here. So we've got access to both of the sides here, as well as the middle section. And that's our glide around.